Weebaholic Podcast. Let's get it. Let's go. Today, we have another special episode coming. We're going to talk about Kotaro Lives Alone. Before we even get to the episode, got a homie, Rashawn, from the R-Gap2 podcast. Introduce yourself, my man.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Rayshawn Gatson from the Rayshawn Gatson Anime Podcast. Just here to kind of talk some anime with you guys.
Bet. You can follow RGAP2 on Instagram at RGAP2. That's literally RGAP2 on Instagram. All podcasting platforms. And yeah, y'all got YouTube, right?
Yeah. Oh, we don't have a YouTube. Just search up Rayshawn Gatson. It's going to come up, Anime Podcast. Go ahead and search me out. Just put out a new episode with a pretty decent voice actor.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I listened to not all about 10 minutes of the start of it. It's pretty good. It was really enthused. I hope you guys check that out because that sounded really good and
pretty dope. I put my best editing skills into that. Still working on some getting better, but hope you guys like it.
Bet. Before you get into the remember to like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell notified for all anime game show content from podcasts and trap reviews, all that good stuff. But also all podcasting platforms, wherever you listen to your podcast at, we are there. I haven't posted the last few episodes, guys, because my computer has been janky, shitty ass iMac, trying to get that together. Y'all know how it is, trying to get the editing software. My computer broke down on me one day. This computer's like 8 years old. Y'all didn't need the life ramble, but hey, y'all got it. But I'm gonna try to get the audio versions out. So if you're an audio listener, you can go listen to that. Go follow Rashid at IG.lens. They've been in the DMV area for photography. He's a great ass photographer, from sports to scenery to events, stuff like that. Also, RNC _ live TV on YouTube, where he posts his Twitch clips if you're interested in watching some gaming clips, and on Twitch at RNC Dark. So now that we're in the episode.
Hey, before you continue, I just wanted to give your fans a little fact, because this is something I just found out today. So did you guys know that Gensho and Rashid are stepbrothers? I swear this I've been knowing this guy for almost about like 6 months now. He said that, and I was just like,
you know me for like a year now.
It's been way longer than that. So I'm like, just never came across to me.
around this time last year. I was like, hey, you should come on if you're going, because you were about to end your pod. And I was like, don't end it, I'll do some shit with you. Like around
I remember that.
So yeah,
that brought us a whole nother year of doing podcasts, and that's funny.
Moving, it just moving. But today we're here to talk to you guys about Kotaro Lives Alone. A little fun fact, I guess, this series has actually been out since 2015, and it's kind of interesting to see how these mangas come out years and years before they even touch the anime surface. Like, it's crazy to but this manga has been out since 2015. Like, it shows like how hard it is to get your manga to the mainstream and like stuff like that. What do you think about that, Rashawn?
It just shows that sometimes you got to keep pushing and working. It might not always, like, just like in our podcasting atmosphere, there's be moments where like you want to be in that big time and you want to have your podcast listed on all these big podcasting platforms, but it takes time. It's gonna take for a while before you're able to garner an audience that's going to be able to want that, and basically asking people to do it, because that's basically how you can say this Kotaro Lives Alone basically did it. You basically get a fan base and they're like, you know what, we want to see this animated, and that's how it works.
March 2015, like, bro, I think I was like in 6th grade. Like, this man has been pushing out for like the last 7-8 years, like. And
but also it could be, I don't know if, because I know like one other it was a manga writer. He didn't want the anime to come out until he had enough of the manga written.
Right.
Like, cause some of these, like, I know for like certain isekai, mainly just isekais I'm really talking about, a lot of their animes get made in the middle of like their manga, and then like they end off the anime with like Oh, ending. That's
or
like
they do like an anime only type of spinoff, and then it ruins the series, and a lot of people don't go read the manga. So it's like you get bad taste in your mouth. That's what happened to me for Blue Exorcist. I love Blue Exorcist. It's like a big one of my first few series, and I was like, why is the ending so bad? And they were like, oh, it was anime only. But I never knew that if I never became, let's say, anime. Like if I was just a casual anime watcher, I would have never known why it was so bad. Like why the drop off to me was so much. But yeah, this manga has been out since March 2015. So a little synopsis, I couldn't really find the one on Google, so I'll make some up. Basically, we have Kotaro, a 40-year-old boy who has the emotional intelligence at times of grown folks, is out here living on his own. He is literally in an apartment, shopping on his own, washing at first at his own, doing everything that some of us young adults are still struggling with to this day. And he's trying to get strong so that his dad will kind of accept him. And it's just an emotional high of a series. That's my synopsis of it. I'm ready to talk about getting into it. So today we're gonna give you guys 3 things we like/love, 1 thing maybe we dislike, then a rating, or we can either rate it 1 through 10, or you can tier it a S through D series if whatever one is easier for you. So Rayshawn, as the guest, what is 1 thing you loved about this series?
one thing I liked about this series. My first like will have to be the scene with the tissues. I like this because
Bro.
we got to kind of find out why he liked them so much, because throughout the series you see him kind of buying tissue paper and giving them out as gifts and stuff, and trying to buy like the high quality. He's not buying the cheap shit. You're not going to his house getting 2-ply nothing.
Right.
But I love when they did basically a scene where him and Kanara, I can't think of Kanara, I can never get
I think it's like Kanara.
Kanaro.
Yeah.
They were basically at the shopping center,
store, yeah.
basically buying some tissue, and he were basically talking to him. And one thing Kotaro said was something about the tissues being sweet. And then like within that same day, he's at home and he sees this news report where this dude was basically explaining his parents were used to leave him at home a lot alone. So he got to the point where there was nothing to eat, and the only thing he remember eating was tissues. And he said he remember eating them because they were so sweet. And then that kind of just like brought everything together to like, damn, he's buying these tissues because he's eating them.
Right.
Because this is what he's known to do. Like that's when that scene broke down, that literally had me. I was like, God damn. Because I even like the part where he was like, you know what, it doesn't matter on the quality of tissue. Because I like the part where he was breaking it down, like the ingredients in the tissues. Yeah. Like I was like, God dang.
I said, I don't even do that for my own food when I go. Like this man is looking at tissues. That's a good point. I think for me, the way that this series like talks about like shows trauma, but in like a beautiful, elegant way, but also in a way to hit you in your feelings. I'm gonna tell you I don't cry a lot, man. I do not cry, but I'm gonna tell you a scene that made me cry. When they were visiting his grandparents at the final like episode, and he was like, "Will I ever see my mom again?" And it was like, I was like, this little boy, mom didn't love him, didn't even want to touch him. His dad was abusive.
See, I'm gonna argue with that one. See, the mom, I feel like she was sick.
Okay, I can see that.
Only reason why I think that is because like I feel like they did a hospital kind of scene where it seemed like she kind of wanted to be with him, but she couldn't, and she was trying to tell him that. She was like, I'm about to have to go away for a while. And then I guess that's when she died and stuff like that.
That also makes sense with him having a lawyer too, that like a trust fund type of person to like make sure a beneficiary. That makes sense too, because like if she just had ran away, he would have got. I mean, he did get put in like foster care system.
But I think she said that the mom put what's that a restraining order on the dad.
Yeah. MVP mom.
So that's yeah.
Because that he very abusive. But when he was saying, "Will I ever see my mom again?" and he kind of like he lied to him, I was like, "This little, I just want to go inside the series and just take him home." Like, little baby, you've been through so much. Like, and also
was that the right call? See, that's a hard one. I was thinking about that for a minute, and I feel like I would probably do the same thing. And the only reason why I probably do the same thing is because I feel like that's what's keeping him going. Just maybe the thought. But sometimes, like, I don't know, the first time the girl came around, I felt like he thought she might not be there. So it's like, it's one of those things, maybe until someone actually says it, it's just one of those things, you know, like it could be.
I'm scared because he's so smart. I feel like deep down he might just be like, bro, I know she, like, I know he's 4, but this kid is really smart, y'all. If y'all haven't seen this series at this point, this kid is like pushing like full-grown adult in your 30s, understanding what's going on. Like,
even on like the emotional level,
yeah,
like he can really break it down.
And another scene, this is my bad saying, but within the same spirit, when he was playing soccer and he was supporting the kid who was getting, like, I wouldn't say abused, but he was getting, I say verbally abused, like I say yelling, a consistent yelling and pressure. That's a type of verbal abusement, because whatever, that still plays on you. And the kid was getting verbally abused at home, and he was like, look, my friend does that, and you don't have to be like that. And I was like, this little kid is going through everything, but is still helping another kid, a little older kid, but another kid, get through his problems. I was like, wow, this is a beautiful soul. This is a beautiful kid.
But I also can show that like trauma is different from people to person, because most people probably, like me as a perspective, I probably wouldn't consider it like that as like abuse, depending on like if it's in a way to better me in the sport. I do understand that some parents and some coaches can get outrageous with the shit, but it really just depends. But you never know how people are going to react. You know what I mean? Like, nobody knew Will Smith was going to smack Chris Rock for a joke. So I mean, it's really hard to know how people are going to react to.
And honestly, that, you know, my mom was like, "Mom, you be watching these, so I'm gonna shout you out." My mom be like that too. She watches basketball. She a hard ass. She's this and that, but it's because she know I can take it now, and I communicate. Oh, this ain't bad. Now maybe my sister, she'll be like, I'm not gonna yell at her like that. Like, she can't. I know she's gonna break down and cry. But Chris, he's just gonna ignore me or play better and stuff like that. And also, like, I'm a full young adult, and this is a kid we're talking about in the series. I forgot his name or whatever, but I like how.
Oh, you talking about the
other kid? But I just love how, like, he was supporting this kid while also like going through his own thing. Because a lot of times people be like, they're like when they're in a situation, they're like, my situation is so bad, nobody ever has it worse than me. And it's like, wow, somebody else has another situation that could be more terrible for them than what I'm going through.
Yeah, you better not play that game. Who got it worse or at home? Because a motherfucker might make you cry for real. You complain about not having tissue paper.
So my one is how they handle the whole trauma abuse thing within the series. So that's for me. What about you? What's your second one, Sean?
I broke mine more down to like scenes because I couldn't really break my stuff down. But okay, my next one will have to be basically the balloon scene. I love the whole setup of it. I liked at the beginning where you have Kotaro basically trying to trick the balloon guy into giving him different balloons, dressing up in different disguises. But basically, he did kind of keep it true for who he was keeping the balloons for, but he didn't actually have those members in his family, because he kept telling the guy, oh, I'm getting this from my brother, I'm getting this from my dad, getting this from my mom, but he was dressing up as different people while he was doing that. So I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. But what I liked it about the scene, about this whole scene, not that part, but necessarily, but the part where you see him at the park basically having these balloons, and then you have the guy see him and he's basically like, what the fuck? Did he basically just get all those balloons just so he can just play with them? And then in that same scene, you have the balloons turn around and you just see all these faces on them. And then you have like mom, dad, brother, and sister. And he's literally at the park with his family. And it just breaks you down to the point where you're like, damn, like, is this all he has type shit? Like, because that's really all he has is them balloons that have his mom, dad, brother, sister, which makes me wonder if he actually has a brother or sister, or that's just something he assumed that might want to happen.
I'm thinking about reading it now. I'm really thinking about like trying to.
I've been trying to find it. It's kind of hard to find, so it's, I don't know.
We might have to wait for the anime. Hopefully, I've seen a few.
Are they forcing you to have to pay for it? That might be the reason. It might not be that big of a manga.
I've seen a few people talk about it, but not even like a lot. I've only seen a few channels talk about it, so and maybe not. Hopefully, we'll get a season 2, or maybe the manga.
It should. I've been hearing like I looked on like the Netflix. No, when I googled it and looked at the rating was pretty high. Netflix had it pretty high, so I'm assuming.
Right.
And it seemed like everybody's starting to buy into this anime. And this doesn't look like nobody else was touching it. So if I was Netflix, I'm signing them up for 10 years. So let's go.
Facts. Okay. I think a scene for me, because most of them are scenes and like what they show highlights of the series. I like how much of the apartment complex was such a community. You know how we hear the community raises a child or a village or whatever that saying is. This show embodied that. And I love how everybody stepped up in a different way. I love the dad, I forgot his name, but he lost his son, but he always had the suit on. He reminded me like a pimp or something. Like he gave me like mafia type vibes.
I know what you're talking about.
And I like the girl, and she was going through her stuff too. Her man was beating her or something like that. That was crazy.
And he always was able to like point that out, like when she was crying and stuff. So I wonder if his mom was going through that too. That's fucked up. Getting abused and you sick. That motherfucker didn't give a fuck. Bitch, what all the pills doing on the table?
Facts.
That's fucked up.
I love, like, that's something I love. I just love how everybody stepped up in their roles to take care of this kid. Because I'm gonna be honest, in a lot of situations, I feel like a lot of people would turn their eyes to it. They'd be like, oh, that's not my business. Like,
I don't think you could. I personally couldn't. If I was at my house and a 4-year-old boy like knocked on my door and was like, I'm your neighbor, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, what you talking about? By yourself?
Where your parents at? I don't know if I could keep you as mine, but I'm at least.
I know. I'll probably do what the guy doing. I'll probably check in on him once in a while.
Right.
You can't take on that. That's a responsibility. Like,
nah,
but I don't know if he like Kotaro. Maybe I can, because he look like he taking care of what's his name.
he can cook better than me. So I'm like, hey, you just are you taking care of me? Like, what's up? So
he might be bringing back a bigger bag than you too. Look.
Also, I love how that dude was a manga writer too. That was a little job. Like I like when animes be like, oh, I'm rushing to make a manga. That just be so funny to me. But then my second like is the community, like how they all try to raise them together, take care of them, look out for them. Love that. What about you? What's your last thing that you was loving about this series?
My number 3. Basically kind of ties into what you were saying earlier. And basically when I'm gonna go into like the main guy, his neighbor, Kotaro. I cannot think of what his name is, but basically one of the main reasons why he started to like go to the bathhouse with Kotaro was because this news report came on and it was basically talking about like kids getting abducted. And he was like, who the fuck was watching them? Was nobody watching the kid? And then out of nowhere, he was like, oh shit, is that me? And then he just started, but then after that, it just seemed like he basically took over that role of taking them to school.
Big brother, dad, whatever.
Yeah, and it seemed like, because they seemed like they both were in the same circumstance, low key.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, okay. I think for my third thing that I like or / love,
I have a fourth one I want to put in there too.
Okay, bet. We can come back to this one. Okay, so my third thing, because we're talking about all this, so I think this might be my last one. I think that I love, like, or this could be a love / maybe they're a scumbag, but the kids that they were adults, but that was stealing from Kotaro in the last 2 episodes.
Oh, his brother from
from
the
the
orphanage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love how like Kotaro, like he knows what's up. He knows he was like, look, I know you was lying to me. I just wanted the hope, the chance that I just wanted you around. Like I just wanted presence. Like you was there for me when I was in the orphanage. And just to see how like he basically changed that kid because from being a scumbag, a gambler, and was like, damn, I really am out here stealing from a 4-year-old.
You know where that comes from though?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you like when a parent be like, oh, I'll take you to Kings Island, I'll do this and I'll do that, and you basically have that hope into them words, basically.
Right.
And that's basically what that situation was. So I kind of like how they broke that down too. That was
that's one of
I don't see how he could have like, I don't know. It's really hard because you got to be in that person's situation too.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn, I don't see how you can steal from a 4-year-old man. Like, dang.
That man would have let you crash there. He would be like, look.
That's what I was low key like. You could have lived there with him until you got the money.
Job. And then he went and said he was picking up trash cans for him to get coins. I was like,
that kind of reminded me of another low key scene I kind of like where he was paying people a yen just to watch him do the little dance from the show. I thought that was cool.
No. Like I was like, Jesus, protect this kid. Because they might harden him when he gets just a little, like, I'm not even saying to his team, just a few years of people just.
I don't think so. I think that man, I think he done seen enough.
Right.
To the point where, like, when he be seeing people going through it, he's just like, man,
I'm gonna help
you. You ain't even at the worst of it. Like, you know.
The umbrella scene when he was like, I'll never let somebody's shoulder get wet. I'm like, this man, he got it, man. He's gonna be all right. But talk about your fourth thing that you love.
But since you brought the umbrella scene, I gotta go into that because the only reason I gotta go into that is because that was one depiction they did, I think, in that whole anime where they did show his dad as a good person.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if it was like something that caused him to like end up being like a bad dad, because
maybe
it was even something.
Maybe like he, you know, how big over there,
lost his
like,
job
loss, you know, that's really big over there, like losing job, not being provided as a man, and like he just.
Or your wife getting sick. Or like, I mean, a lot of stuff can. Yeah, I guess a lot of things could have played into that. But the fourth thing I wanted to say I like, because it ended off the last episode I just seen, is I liked it. It's not that I liked it, but I liked it. The reason behind why he didn't like photos.
Mm-hmm.
And then they basically showed a scene where his dad tries to come to the orphanage and try to pick him up, and he's yelling, I know my son is here. I seen the picture, it's online. And basically he done took that scene and now to the point where he does not want any photos taken of him.
That's
like
none.
That's and like
crazy.
And the thing I think is crazy is like he's not even connecting the idea like maybe I can get a picture as long as it don't go online. He's at the point, no, I don't want them out there. Like, and it just shows you like how deep stuff can go.
And it shows like
that trauma.
Your first few years of life. I think it's a study. Your first 5 years of your life really shape who you're gonna be. So like you're starting off with this, like we're lucky that he is so emotionally intelligent. He is such a strong-willed character because like he could be pretty fucked if he wasn't. This could be a whole different story about him becoming a criminal, him killing himself, like going through the orphanage system. We know how crazy and terrible it is even over here. I can imagine over in Japan, stuff like that. So yeah, I just hats off, and I love how beautiful the author wrote Kotaro.
Yeah, man, it's amazing.
Now we get a little negative. Do you have one dislike from this series?
Oh yeah, the dislike I had will have to go to one stank ass character.
Oh, you talking about that bitch?
Yep.
I don't like it. Okay, good.
The ex-girlfriend has to be the thing I hated about this. She came in after I guess she got done fucking with whoever she was fucking with. Then she gonna come into the house and then she gonna fuck up the vibe. That's what I don't like. How you gonna mess up their little situation going on, they little big brother, little brother situation, because you wanna, I guess you want to help out,
I was
but
so
you
confused.
helping out in a situation no one asked you
I
to.
was so confused on her motives because it was like, do you not like kids? Do you like kids? Why are you here? Like,
that's what I'm talking about. Like, she like, I'm trying to make it easy for your work. I'm like, bitch, where have you even been in the last few episodes? You wasn't caring then.
And it's
You
also
was
like, he's a grown man. If he wants to focus on Kotaro and that takes attention away from his work, that's on him. And you don't know the relationship that he has with the manga author when he came over and saw how involved he's getting with Kotaro. He's like, the manga authors like started fucking with him more when he saw that he was starting to take care of Kotaro and just like that. So I'm like, who are you? Why do I care about you? Why are you on the screen? Why
see what it was the money. Because when she heard, like, I guess he was like a new series or like a new adaptation he was getting, and she heard that, she was like, what? Oh no, you can't be wasting your time trying to take care of no kid.
Facts. Yes, I'm gonna be honest. I was picking teeth trying to figure out what I didn't like for the series, but when we got to her getting introduced, I was like, yep, that's who I don't like. Because other than that, there's not a lot of things I dislike about the series.
Yeah, and I like how it went all the way to like to the school when they were doing that little song.
Yeah.
And like he was sad, like when she was there, and then when he came, he started smiling. Mm-hmm. But then they started arguing, and then he started frowning again. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, he probably like seeing his mom and dad in that. And he's probably like, why are y'all arguing like right now?
Yeah. Nah,
and then he basically had to tell her, like, the only reason why I'm better than, because in the beginning he's kind of more like one of your otaku fuck boys who basically, you know, fucking bitches, not remembering their names and shit. So, and he's basically at this point where he's kind of turning into a respectable person, and he's like, it's because of this kid.
I think this is what I guess a prediction. I think he'll probably adopt him next season or something like that, or maybe I think he may adopt him.
I think it's one of those things where it's like,
or maybe he don't go through it. Maybe they don't.
He don't. To me, it's like, you know how one of those things, like, you know that relationship's there, even if it's not like
legal,
confirmed, like, or like out there. Like, you know how sometimes you can be like, okay, those two together, even though they don't say they're together, they're pretty much together. Right. Them two are pretty much together. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. To me, it'd be weird if somebody else did try to adopt them. But right. I mean, I feel like for that to happen, they would have to be like, I guess, the right family and all of that. But I don't know.
Or the dad comes back in the picture.
Yeah, I guess how he writes him back in, because I don't know. We going based on the view from Kotaro. I don't fucks with the dude.
Yeah, nah, facts. He
ain't even black.
He gotta be a top worst dad. Like, he's in that new list now with the Endeavors, the Gens. He in that category now of worst and Gara's dad, like the worst anime dads. He in that list now.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else you want to talk about Kotaro Lives Alone before we give our rating?
No, you hit on the last episode, and that was probably the real give me one, because he basically had him standing there next to him.
Did you cry anytime in the series? Did you like any tears?
Man, I feel like I cried so much through this series, because I was basically smoking, and then like it just seemed like every scene had like another meaning to it. Like, you see, like, okay, like the scene where Kotaro was like so worried about taking a bath, and then they broke it down to like he might have some childhood trauma to like being dirty and stuff like that, and then you're just like, damn, I didn't even think about that. Like, you know, like it just to me, I feel like it made me think more from a child perspective, because I feel like that's what they were trying to give you, more from a child's perspective and how they actually feel and what emotions they might actually feel from what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes I can be like one-dimensional, and I feel like most people probably feel how I would feel, or I think, and I feel like that's how sometimes I get into problems with like even my siblings, because I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You should be doing this and that, but I'm not understanding the way I'm probably talking to them is probably not the right way. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, our gap growing from the show. That's what we like to hear. Anime teaching lessons.
You gotta dissect them some way. You know what I mean?
Facts. So, what would you rate this series out of 10?
Dang, that's so hard, man. I feel like it deserves a high number, but it only had 10 episodes. So I have to ding it a few points because I'm mad it only had 10 episodes. Um, I'm gonna give it a I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I wanted to give it a 9. I'm gonna bring it down about 0.5.
Okay.
Everything about it is cool. The animation is pretty decent. It's not like
Open
jaw
got
dropping, but it's
got
pretty
a nice
decent.
opening too. I listen.
The
I listen to
open is pretty nice.
yeah.
Um, I even like the little cartoon character he fucks with, Dokimon or something like that. I can't think of what it's called, but
Yeah.
I fucks with it.
I'll probably say 9. And the only reason I gave the 0.5 to yours is because like there's only 10 episodes, but none of the episodes are boring to me. Because I've seen some shows where like it's 10 episodes, but the first two are like ass or it's boring or it's trying to, set things up. It was like, I'm Kotaro, I'm your neighbor, I'm 4. Like I live right by you. Wait, what? You live alone? Yeah, I do. Okay, I'm interested. You got me. So just off of pulling me in, I'm gonna say a 9. And I think it's just a series. Like you try to get somebody in anime, this is the one. This is one of the good slice of life I think you can get somebody in. It's
Yeah,
short, it's cute, but it's deep. It's relatable. It's family friendly. Um,
it's
yeah,
really deep, and
yeah.
it's really sad too. I'm surprised they when you were telling me like the tags they had for the movie. I'm surprised like tragedy wasn't in there, but I guess it never really showed nothing too crazy
Right.
because they didn't. Because I don't even think it even
I'm gonna be
showed the
honest.
girl
Sometimes
getting slapped.
I would have to rewind to understand what. Like I'm like, wait, hold on. What do you mean to? Oh, you're eating tissues. That just went over my head. Okay. You're. Oh wait, you're getting abused by your boyfriend, slapped and beat and punched or whatever for working at a club. Because I'm gonna be honest, I assumed that she was the type of stripper. And he ain't like that, and you beating on her because they were at that club. Remember?
I
That's
thought
why.
she was getting like blackmailed at
Oh,
first.
oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't expect that to be like, oh, I'm glad you said that because it reminded me of something Kotaro said that like busted my eyes open. And that was he was talking to her and she was explaining about the abuse. And he was like, you need to run. He was like, you don't want to be the reason why the person you love turns into a bad guy. And he was explaining like how like he made his dad become a bad guy. And it just shows you like how people see things. You know what I mean? Like how he believes that like him being weak and just being in that situation caused his dad to hate him, hate his mom, or do whatever he did. And it just was like, damn. And I guess he believes tying the police into the situation and all that brought that situation to it because he didn't even want her to call the police. He said run, like disappear. And it basically showed you because that's exactly what he did when his dad came showed up to the orphanage. He disappeared
Right.
because basically they had that episode where that guy was basically looking for him for his dad.
Right.
And they explained like, yeah, he just disappeared and don't tell nobody about it. Like,
right. That's why I think season 2 his dad might get in the loop. That's why I think it makes it. They'd be like, oh, we found and we saw a picture. We heard he's enrolled here. Dad pulls up. I can see that coming. What's your prediction for season 2? We'll do that. That'll be the last thing we talk about.
see, it's so hard for me to do that because I feel like this anime is kind of like Psyche K. Have you ever seen Psyche K?
Yeah, episodic, like each episode.
Yeah, it seems like every episode is kind of different. Like they all kind of tie together a little bit, but they all kind of like all over the place because you have like the tissue episode. Then after that, you have like the where he's talking to the editor and he takes him to his house and stuff. So it kind of like it kind of jumps around a little bit. But like if I had to think what I think will be in the next season, I feel like he's probably gonna figure out something about his mom next season. I don't know who's gonna tell him. It's a lot of people. It's like 3 people who actually know. So I feel like the lawyer girl is probably gonna break down the most because of just how her situation is.
Right.
Another thing that might happen, we might get an adoption because I can kind of see that coming into play, and we might get a move.
Okay. Okay. Because you getting a manga job. Okay. That makes sense. Maybe move to inner Tokyo, like Tokyo.
Because I can see that being a reason for him to adopt him. Like he has to move.
And yeah, you have to adopt him for him to come with you type shit. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. I like that. Because he gets the job and he can move to downtown Tokyo or Shibuya or somewhere big, whatever,
Mhm.
Chinatown, whatever, to get closer to the shop and stuff like that. To get it. Okay. Okay. So again, our rankings, Rashawn, 8.5, right?
Mhm.
Okay, me, Gensha, I gave it a 9. Now, you guys go, if you haven't watched this series, by this point, you're still watching. I don't know why, but go watch it. Rewatch
Yeah,
it.
you definitely need to watch it.
It is a great series. It is getting not even slept on, snoozed on. I do not see a lot of people talking about this. So, yeah.
Oh, I guess, didn't you want to talk about how we both found it?
Yeah, talk about how you found it.
How I found it. This is hilarious because for the last probably about 2 weeks, I've been on like anime binges, rewatching and trying to rewatch some that I've missed because it was a period of time where I've just been doing a lot of reviews on anime where I didn't really have enough time to watch some anime. You probably do the same thing too because you do a lot of reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
And it pushed back what you actually want to watch. But I was getting to a point where I was like, trying to find something to watch. I was just looking around.
You actually want to enjoy this.
And then I just seen, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm one of those people who like if it's a decent cover, I'm gonna at least read what it's about. And I had seen it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, because I don't know if you know a lot of slice of life. A lot of slice of life has this kind of theme in it where you have like a kid moves in next door to somebody that probably like a workaholic type of thing. So I kind of thought that was where it was kind of go, but it totally went a whole different route because this actually went more from the mindset of the kid. So, but what made me watch it was it was middle of the night, midnight, like 12 o'clock, trying to find something to watch, read it, looked at it. I was like, oh, 10 episodes. If it's bad, I don't have to finish it. But as soon as I click play, man, when I tell you I watched that series like 3 times, I was like, damn.
It's one of them. Okay. I think for me, my friend who's on the like in the animes, like is an artist or whatever, and call like we normally send voice messages and stuff like that, and me and her be chopping that up. And she was like, Chris, there's this anime, I'm crying. It was like 3 a.m. She called me 3 times. I'm like, bro, this is an emergency. I'm asleep. I got class. I said, bro, this gotta be an emergency. She said, no, I found this new anime nobody's talking about. And you need to go watch it. Nobody's talking about it. You can talk about it on your podcast and give some light to it. I said, okay, bet. What's it called? Kotaro. And I was like, all right, this better not be ass. I turn it on. I'm like, okay, it's good. Cause I hate when somebody recommends like hype something up and then recommend me some ass. Cause I'd be like, bro, you could have just told me it was solid. That's what I do. I'd be like, oh, it's solid. You might like it if that's what you like. And then I set the bar low so you can go in there and make your own.
You hype it up, but then you kind of, well, you know, if you like this or that, you know what I mean?
Like, okay, you like this and that, go watch it.
Bring
I'm not saying
expectation down.
So then when you get in there and it's great, I'm be like, see, I knew that. I just didn't want to tell you.
All I recommend is fire.
Fact. That's how I would be. So shout out to my friend. That is a great plug. But I don't really have nothing else for Sean. Do you have something else to say or talk about the series?
Not really about the series, no.
Okay.
All I want to know is see, I don't know if I want another, like, I don't know, like, see, I could do another season because I mean the episodes are periodic, but I low-key feel like they could do good with a movie.
Okay. Anime movies.
Like if they ended it off with like a movie and had all that, like the adoption and all that in the movie, I feel like that would be pretty decent. Okay. And I feel like they could kill the movie, like the movie section of anime, because this is just my opinion. But a lot of the movies and animes right now that's been like really popular, breaking records and stuff like that, story-wise, have been like mid. You know what I mean? Like the action and everything has been great. But I feel like if you take this anime with the same kind of storytelling,
yeah,
this could win an Oscar. Like, well, kid, for real.
Numbers. I agree with you. For sure. But Rayshawn, tell us where we can find you at again for people at home. They want to contact you or find your podcast. Tell us where we can find you.
All right. Again, you guys, you can find me on Instagram at rgap2. You can find me on all your you can find me on all your podcasting platforms by just searching up Rayshawn Gatson or rgap anime podcast. And I'm pretty much on all your platforming, your podcasting platforms, your Spotify's, your Apples, even on Amazon. I just put myself on Amazon, so go ahead and check me out.
Bet. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Chopping it up, talking about
anytime, man. You know, anytime. It ain't even
sure.
Glad to have you on. Let's have you on next episode.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna have all links in the description down below. Remember, go leave a 5-star, go all that stuff. I know how to spot the podcasting platform where leave a 5-star review. If you listen to leave a comment, all that, like, follow, DM them, I'm sure, talk about some anime, I'm sure. Rayshawn love a good anime talk or whatever.
I love the debate. So if you want to talk about some stuff, I'm about it.
Yes, sir. Go like, comment, subscribe, turn on notification notify for all Anime Again Show content. Follow us Anime Again Show on Instagram, Anime Again Show on Twitter if you're on Twitter, and TikTok. I haven't been active, but I don't even be on TikTok like that. I'm sorry, y'all. But go follow my co-host at RNC Dark on Twitch. He streams every Monday and Friday, 5:30 Eastern time for any type of game. Also RNC Dark _live TV on YouTube if you are into watching gameplay. And I do that lens of photography. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Watch Kotaro Lives Alone. Let us know, what would you rate? If you've seen it at this point, what would you rate it 1 through 10? How do you feel about Kotaro as the main character?
Are we overhyping it?
Are we? Let us know. Maybe it's Dookie. Maybe it's not as good as we think. Let us know all that. I'm
surprised if somebody say that. If you say that, I don't know.
I'm gonna have a real debate with you. We're gonna have to
we're gonna have to set up another episode.
Get him or her on a podcast.
We're gonna be tag teams. I'm sorry.
Exactly. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And we are out. Peace.
Peace.
We used to play.